It's time to get real with Eddie, here to help you understand the changing real estate market and meet your real estate goals. Over 19 years in the business, 2018 Realtor of the Year, current president of Three Rivers, director at the Illinois Association of Realtors, and team lead of the Rudiger Group at Baird & Warner. Here's Eddie Rudiger.
And it's Tuesday at noon, and we are here live as always, talking real estate. And with me is Nancy Valley from the Rudiger Group at Baird & Warner. Nancy, how are you?
Great. How are you, Ed?
I am doing well. I'm running like a madman today because we have board of directors for the association this morning. And now I am here, and it's just, just one of those busy days in real estate. Not to mention, we got deals going on and a whole bunch of other stuff. And the one and only who I'm closing tomorrow, a deal with a client, is Vice President of Lending from Key Mortgage, Karen Walsh. Karen, how are you?
Good, Eddie. How are you?
I'm doing well.
Good.
Like I said, been running like a madman, but it's always good to keep me busy because otherwise I get in trouble. I mean, let's be honest. So,
True.
All right. So, I may be wrong. We'll see what happens. But so far from IR, we have an article that came out, I believe, this morning. I caught this at the very last second, and it is a coronavirus update, and that is state and local law enforcement authorities can now enforce eviction orders that were sought before March 20th, 2020 under a change to Illinois' eviction moratorium that went into effect on Friday. Then later this month, on June 25th, authorities can also start enforcing eviction orders to the entire entered against tenants who are non-COVID persons under the governor's executive order. Remaining provisions prohibited enforcement of eviction orders against COVID persons unless the tenant is found to pose a direct threat to the health and safety of the tenants or the immediate and served risk property remains in place. So, with all that legal mumbo jumbo, basically, it looks like they can start evicting non-COVID individuals immediately, and individuals with that are non-COVID threatening with health and safety as of after June 26th. I honestly thought the moratorium on evictions was going to get extended. I am rather shocked on this. Some details as a reminder, while both the state moratorium and federal moratorium remain in place, the state moratorium should be followed in Illinois as it's more restrictive than the federal moratorium. I do know Fannie and Freddie are still not starting their eviction process until September. But this is going to start opening up that barrel of monkeys we've talked about of, okay, how many people are actually behind on their rent?
That's a good question.
I mean, we've heard anywhere from 15 to 20 million people are behind on their rent. So this is going to be, finally, we'll get some legitimate numbers based on, eviction notices. So, let's look at what the actual declaration states. So the first, under the declaration, the tenant states that, number one, Nancy, if you want to go to number one.
Sure. The individual either expects to earn no more than $99,000 in annual income for calendar year 2020, or no more than $198,000 if filing jointly. Was not required to report any income in 2019 to the IRS and received economic impact payment pursuant to Section 2001 of the CARES Act.
So if they, this is before, all right, if they made $99,000 each, either as an individual or each of them made $99,000, if it was a couple, they would be, if they made more than that, they did not have the moratorium in place.
Correct.
But if they were making less than that, then the moratorium under the CARES Act would fill in. The second point
Second point is the individual is unable to make a full rent or housing payment due to a COVID-19 related hardship, including but not limited to substantial loss of income, loss of compensable hours of work or wages, or an increase in out-of-pocket expenses directly related to the COVID-19 pandemic. And I'll just pick up my teeth now.
It is a mouthful. It's
Yeah.
a mouthful. So these are where the executive orders, some of the things that were in place. And so it looks like they're going to start opening up this 15 to 20 million nationally. What do you think that breaks down to in Illinois? What do you think? I mean, obviously we're taking a complete guess.
Yeah, that's educated guess-wise.
Okay, let's see. I got a calculator. All right, let's go. Let's say it's on the high end of 20 million. So,
Because nationally, and then,
all right, so if you say there's 20 million divided by what, 326 million is the population. So that's about 6% of the population. 6.1. If you turn around and what, there's 2 million people roughly in Chicago?
yeah, roughly.
All right, well, what's the population of Illinois? Quick. Google pop.
I turned my phone off.
Population of Illinois is showing 12.67. All right, so if we say 12.67 times 0.06, 760,000?
That seems really high.
That seems
That
really
seems
high.
really high.
I mean, and I don't think you can necessarily extrapolate it direct like that. Yeah, 756,000.
So, did a little more, thank God for Google. All right, so renters in Illinois, as of 2019, the number of households that were renters, according to the census, ACS data in 2019 was 33.99% of the households in Illinois were renters. So now plug that number in. That'd give you a better.
All right,
So that's going to increase the Illinois numbers.
12 million, which would make sense because we have a higher population than other states.
Well, what's
It's
our
not going to be,
It's 33.99% of our population. So
that's 4,306,000. So if you take now, if we're saying 6%, actually it puts it down, and that seems like a reasonable number, 258,391.
that seems a little more. That seems a little high too, but it's a little more palatable.
I think that's probably what you're looking at. And if you put it into the Chicago market, let's say what, 60% of the population's from Joliet North in Illinois. I think it's a complete guesstimate, but it's a good guess. So that's going to be 155,000 units that could come onto the market, as we said before. So what were we saying? We were saying.
But the population, and does that include families? Is that population, or is that actual units of rentals? And see, populate. If your family is of renters is 2.3 people.
Oh, I see what you're
You
saying.
see what I'm saying?
So let's just say
Right,
if
you have
we're
multiple.
yeah, so we wanted to now divide that by, all right, so we've got 155,000 individuals. Let's say the average family size is, 4?
Yeah, sure, why not?
All right, so now you're at 38,000 units
Now that sounds more like.
that are behind in rent. Now, if we apply that, what we were talking before on the 20 million, 25% is going to get it straightened out, 25% is going to just evict and re-rent. All right, so half of that is actually going to be the question mark. And out of that half, how many of that is single family? Only we're figuring 80%. So throughout, now this is Northern Illinois, I'm thinking 15,500 units all from, let's say, I-80 north. I think that's a pretty fair, 15,500.
15,000 sounds,
You're not taking it to the Chicagoland area.
That's all of Chicagoland. That's
All of Chicagoland.
I'm figuring that's all of Chicagoland. I think that's a pretty good estimate when you're looking at everything of, because I think Chicago as a whole is 2 million in population. So,
okay, family size is 3.23. Gotta go faster.
so we're being conservative by using 4.
Yes.
I think the point comes into play. If you're a buyer in this market, there's going to be opportunities for you coming soon. I think the evictions as they start rolling out, and it's not going to be June or July. You're going to see this more coming into play, I think.
Fall.
Yeah, August, September, October, we're going to start seeing the market finally loosen up and get back to correction. Because I think you'll see 7,000 to up to 15,000 units for sale.
Which will help our overabundance of buyers.
Yeah,
Yes.
exactly. It's gonna give some relief and get us out of this multiple offer craziness. So definitely a good thing. And I know there's individuals still struggling. If you are struggling on your rent, reach out, and if you're in Will County, reach out to the Will County government. They do have rental assistance available for you. That is there, it is in place, and you can take advantage of it.
Yeah, use it. You need it?
Absolutely, absolutely. I don't want to, but the opportunities are there to help you get back on your feet. So, more than this came out of Realtor magazine on the 11th. More than 8 out of 10 homes sold at or above list price.
There's a shack. Just saying.
With a low supply of homes for sale, sellers are finding quicker sales and fetching higher offers. 82% of homeowners who sold in the last 6 months accepted offers at list price or above, according to a new survey of about 1,600 homeowners conducted by Homes.com. What's more, homes are selling fast too. A quarter of homes sellers said they had 5 or fewer showings before finding a buyer. 26% had 6 to 10 showings before selling, and nearly 10% had no in-person showings at all and were still able to sell their home. Virtual tours have been increasing since the pandemic. I'm still seeing people wanting to go into the house though. I'm not getting a lot of virtuals.
The vast majority are wanting to go in the home. But I have done, and I gotta say it's starting to wane now, I've done a lot of virtual tours this spring. And now that we're moving into really summer months, I'm only done 1 or 2.
Okay, so, but are you doing more virtual tours because of COVID? Or are you doing more virtual tours because of the fact that it is such a madhouse to get into some of these properties, and the buyers are saying, no, you just go and we'll do the virtual, and watch on the phone?
Yeah, exactly. My clients out of town, several clients that I've had this spring have been from out of town, even if they're relatively close, like north side of Chicago, whatever. So, but to get down here, to get into the home at the time that they need to be able to get in the home, it's prohibitive and you have a 15-minute window to show the house. So the chances of them getting here and getting in time, et cetera, you just take them through. Then they make the offer from there.
I gotta be honest, the 15-minute window is so challenging in the last 2 or 3 weeks because travel times have gotten so difficult with the construction season starting in full swing as of June 1st. It seemed like a bunch of more, not just like, okay, so as we know, I-55 moved over to down to 2 lanes. There's some construction already on I-80 that they're doing stuff, but I'm noticing a lot of local construction street projects.
A lot of local city projects.
And it is just making it challenging. I'm running into traffic, and especially if you've got a client where you're bouncing between municipalities and you're bouncing between stuff, it is insane on trying to get a showing and hit that needle of a window of 15 minutes when you have a normal travel time of a half hour. So I am seeing some openings up on that. I'm seeing overlapping appointments. I just had a showing where the house was way underpriced, under market value. All right, way under. They were only doing showings for 2 hours one day, and there was a line down the street, literally down the street, in front of the neighbor's house. It went that far. And probably cranked 40 showings. Most of the real estate agents were very professional and very understanding. A lot of people were very upset with the sellers on doing it in that concept. And I honestly think the way they did it, I don't think they're getting top dollar for the property.
No, I gotta agree. You need to show your home reasonably to let buyers through in order to get the best offer.
Yep. And I think that's exactly what it is. It's and in a full disclosure, that was a short sale on that property. So but still, yeah, if you want to get out from under that mortgage from the bank, you got to get the top loan. They're not just going to take any offer. The bank's going to do their own due diligence, and they're going to turn around and say, if you come in with a low offer or you take something that's not the best offer, nope, this is what they're going to counter. And then I've seen that year over year, especially during the Great Recession when I was doing tons of short sales. Now I'm seeing short sales as part of the market. 1 out of every 30, maybe 40 houses I'm seeing is a short sale.
Yeah, very few short sales right now.
Well,
but you're banking, doing your showings, setting that up as a seller, you're cutting your nose off to spite your face because you're limiting your buyers. So, okay, in that 2-hour window, you're banking that in that 2-hour window, you're going to get the best offer. Hey, that best offer could have come 2 hours and 15 minutes later. Oh, well, you'll never know because
yep.
You didn't open it up.
And the problem is keeping it that competitive and making that your best offer goes, yeah, I'm not messing with this.
Yeah.
There are still in this market individuals, if you are not putting the best product out there, if you're not putting the best house out there, you're not getting it ready to show, if you're not doing what you should normally do in any other market, you're going to sit on the market and you're going to gain market time. You have to put out a move-in ready house. Your house should look like it's a model. So, speaking of the market, we got another article here talking about that the list prices are really a auction reserve price. And I think that's really a good way to kind of look at it.
Really good way to look at it.
That, okay, guess what? They're listing the house for $225, so your bids really start now at $225. Now, I am still doing a CMA for every single house.
Absolutely.
I mean,
especially when if you have a buyer that is going to count on lending, there is an appraisal. You have to thread that needle between ridiculous and the loan.
Well, and not just that. I mean, Karen, first off, are you seeing a lot of pushback on appraisals?
Not as much as you would think at the moment. And when we do have something come in short, it doesn't seem to be the whole amount short. Let's say if the offer was $20,000 over asking price, it's not coming in at asking price. It's maybe coming in 7 or 8 below.
Yeah, and I've heard that. What I'm seeing more, and this is kind of more of a question on Nancy, and tell me if what you're seeing. I'm doing the CMA because they're listing at $225, and the sellers and the listing agent, they should have probably listed at $235. that they know they're going to get multiple offers but they're still underlisting the property. I'm seeing that a lot, that the properties are being underlisted. That's why I don't think we're seeing major appraisal issues. I don't think that there's been enough. They're not looking at doing time adjustments correctly, and I think that could be a training issue.
I think that's what it boils down to, is that they're not adjusting. It'll be interesting now that we're through that first quarter and we're really moving in and closing. Those closes are actually happening from April, May. Now I think you're gonna see an adjustment on list price.
I think you're going to see that adjustment on list price also.
When you're saying the adjustment on list price, you're meaning that they're going to be, offers are going to be more true to the list price, is what you're saying when you're saying the adjustment of list price?
I'm saying when they go on market, like Ed was saying, they were going on market a little bit low for current market. They're a little bit low, but they're using CMAs from 3-4 months ago.
So there's more data to be used.
Yeah,
Correct.
they're
in list
using
prices.
they're using closed data. Most agents, when they pull a CMA, are using closed data for 6 months back.
Gotcha.
Okay, because that's traditionally what we've done. All right. What you have to do is you also have to look at that market, and that's like where InfoSparks comes in. Okay, and you pull that data and you look at that data, because it can give me, like, for a town, what's the increase in that town in the last 12 months. You know, how and where are we at with that information and with those numbers?
Yeah, so you can go in and see
So.
that 3 months, in the last 3 months, in the last 6 months,
Mhm.
prices have gone up in that micro market 8%, 10%. So then you know where you're going
Mhm.
with that list and or offer if the list is low.
Yeah, I got numbers on Romeoville, and you know what? Here's what I want to do. Let's jump to break first. Let's take a quick break, and when we get back, because I want to see if we did get the updated numbers out on Romeoville. So I'm going to pull that up on line while we're on break, and let's take a look at those numbers when we get back. So stick it here with Get Real with Eddie. Hey, if you want more information about selling your house, give me a call at 815-823-LIST, that's LIST, at Baird & Warner. Or you can call Nancy from the Rudiger Group at Baird & Warner at
815-545-1162.
All right, so I got numbers for Romeoville. We do not have the updated numbers. I was hoping for it, and I know you guys are having some hard issues seeing what I got up on screen, so I'm going to do my best for you. Because even for me, I'm like, okay, why is this not enlarging? Let's make this bigger, but no, it's not working. The number we were talking about adjustments, and this is where I would go for the adjustment. Trailing 12 months for Romeoville on the median sales price is up 7.3%. So I think 7.3% is a great number to be looking at when it comes to trying to calculate and figure out where you should be making those adjustments at and how much you should be making those adjustments for. You know, just trying to get it. So 260 is the median price, up 13%. That's month over month. Now you can look at that number too on the median, but I think the median's just last year from this year, up 13%. I don't know if I'd use that number for the adjustment. I would go with the last 12, trailing 12. I think it's giving you a better sample. What would you do, Nia? Would you be in the same boat?
Yeah, definitely, because I think it's a better number, just because the data is more relevant.
I know, as you guys are all trying to see this data
I'm
in the
stumbling
screen.
here. I can't see.
I don't know why I can't zoom in today. Usually I can. We've got a tighter shot, and for some reason, let me go to here. Page display.
Let's zoom. Can you zoom it? One down under, yeah. Turn that. See, under actual size, zoom.
page level. Oh, let's do this. Fit to win. Hey,
There we go.
there we go.
We got
All right,
light.
everybody can take their everybody can take the cheaters off now. So live radio. What can I tell you? All right, so 236 is the trailing 12-month median sales price. 260 is the month over month. So basically, if you were buying a house in April, you were paying 260. So I would look at that, but I'd look at the 7.3% increase in the last 12 months is where I would be at. Now, on the average sales, they're up 16% month over month. Trailing 12 months, they're up 8.9%. If you were going to sell in April, it was 26 days on market. They were getting 101% of asking price in April of this year versus 97.6 last year. And inventory was at 23 units on the single family. On the multifamily, you are looking at a median sales price month over month, $212,500, up 21.2%, which we are seeing a trend on the attached units really starting to become competitive with individuals not being able to obtain what they're looking for on a single family house. The 190,000 is the median on a attached for the trailing 12, up 6.5%. The average is 210, up 17.6%. 191, 436 is the average sales on the trailing 12, up 4.4%. 11 units were left on this attached at the end of April, and market time was 15 days. So attached are selling faster, but I think that really goes into the supply. If you are wanting to be in Romeoville, you've got two options. I got a median sales price on the single family of 260, or I've got 212,500. If I only have like 215 to spend, I'm going to look at the attached. Most likely, it's within my budget, but there's not as many units, so they're selling faster.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I really do think we're going to get into some density issues when it comes to development and building as we're moving forward in this market. I think it's going to make a big impact. So, again, we got another article and I do love these articles. Why this is not like 2008 once again. And this took another completely different look from 2008 to now. So Realty Track explains, we changed the rules. We told banks they need more reserves and that they could no longer underwrite toxic mortgages. It turns out that regulation properly done can help navigate financial minefields. Absolutely true. We had, and here's some of it, we had regulation. No one was enforcing the regulation either. I love the, have you guys seen the movie The Big Short?
Yes.
Talks about the mortgage collapse. And on The Big Short, the movie is going down the road of, hey, well, all these are grouped together, ABCs, A mortgages, B mortgages, C mortgages, D mortgages. And they talk about the insurance companies that were giving the bond ratings. And they're like, well, if we don't turn around and give you the AAA plus bond rating, then they're going to take their business down the road. But no one was enforcing, the people that were supposed to enforce them were not enforcing that. Karen, can you explain that a little bit more? How about just the insurance of when you put the bonds and put the mortgages together, the concept?
Well, I mean, like you said, they were bundling the way they were. There was called. There was a name that they used for it. Was it
mortgage bonds?
The mortgage bonds, but there was another name that they used another term in there where they were bundling the mortgage bonds, and they were kind of like not all the same paper, let's say, and a lot of not so good mortgages got bundled with that paper. And some people seen that coming, other people refused to believe, and it happened. So
here's what I love about this. Bank failures by year, okay? We're gonna start in 07 and I'm just gonna rattle them off. 3 in 07, 2508, 140 in 09, 157 in 10, 92 in 11, 51 in 12. Dodd-Frank was passed in 10 and implemented by 12.
12, correct.
Here comes the change. 24 in 13, 18 in 14. Now don't get me wrong, some of that was Dodd-Frank, some of that was just, guess what, the market finally corrected itself. 8 in 15, 5 in 16, 8 in 17, 0 in 18, no bank failures.
That's awesome.
4 in 19, 4 bank failures in 2020. So
That's just like night and day. It's just
Yeah.
4. You would think under COVID, now granted, it's a delayed reaction, so you're really going to be watching for this year and next year on bank failures. But you would think even under COVID, some of those banks that were really weak, but they put the aspects of the reserves in place, and it shows that just the different time and the different policies, and when you actually enforce the policies, you can have a fair market transaction, and you can have one that is, gonna be proactive. So I think it makes it just a huge difference. So home prices appreciate. It's a simple supply and demand. So we've got a great map. Maps are always great for radio, but we did have this up at getrealwitheddy.com, so check it out and you can find that there. Year over year price appreciation. So Illinois, where are we at year over year? Nancy.
We are at 9.6% appreciation.
So that's another number you could look at when you're looking at that time adjustment.
Right.
If you were trying to make it and you're not seeing what's going on and seeing where everything's at, that time adjustment is an aspect of what you could be doing, and that would be, 10%. The other states that are really dominating, Washington, Idaho, Utah, Arizona, all over 15%. Maine, Vermont, and Connecticut are included in that. Rhode Island is really close at 14.4. Florida is 12.6 because I know everybody hears things about going to Florida from Illinois. Texas is 11.9. I'll go back to Arizona. They're 17.4, but they are not the big dominator of value increases. It's Idaho. Idaho is at 23.7%.
Well, it plays into that whole California exit.
or was
Thing.
it jobs? I think we talked about maybe some that had the increase in jobs was helping the increase in property values.
Yeah, that's
Yes.
true. And I think you're seeing some of that going on and moving there. So year over year housing inventory change. So this is for the year, all right? And this is by Realtor.com. Illinois is down 40.8%. All right, these are the change in state inventory levels year over year as reported by Realtor.com. I don't know what month they're using because that seems really, 40.8 seems really low in an inventory change for Illinois. I think we're better than that when I'm looking at the numbers.
I
And the
don't
numbers
see-
we got out of MRED last
40.
week, I think we're way better than that. Where we had 8,000 listings come in.
Yeah. I'd like to go back to 2019 and compare that as well. That's why I was looking for,
Yeah.
is this 2020? Is this, because,
Yeah.
listings were way down, obviously, in 2020.
You
So
look at New York. New York is probably actually has the most inventory. They're only down 9.8%. Hawaii is down 29.8%, and Connecticut is 27.9. That the rest of the country's in red, over 40 or over 30% when it comes to inventory change down. Actually, I'm looking at all the reds. They're actually over 39. 39.3 is the lowest one in the red with New Mexico. Florida, 62.9 down in inventory change. So, all right, let's take a quick break. But before we go to break, I want to talk about a brand new listing coming to market that I think Nancy is going to end up selling. It is a townhouse in Romeoville. It is a 2-bedroom, one full bath and 1 half bath, 2-car garage. It is 1851 South Wentworth. This should be going live this week, and we'll start showings on Friday. So if you know someone that is looking to make a purchase, this is definitely a great townhouse to pick up. It's got a nice little patio in the back, and there's this really unique room. So you go into the laundry room, and there's like this, almost like a window. It's like a half door. I mean, it comes up to about my chest, and you step into it, and it could be an additional storage room, or like they're using it as a kid's playroom. It's like, and it's cool, really cool for kids.
That is kind of cool.
Because it's like, you know, it's the magical place because it's not a full-size door. I mean, I have to crunch down to get it. Go look for this weekend if you get a chance. 1851 South Wentworth in Romeoville, and check out the video that we did for it and the 3D tour. You'll get an idea and a better impression of it. It's just a really cool. If you got questions on it or you are looking to buy, give me a call, 815. Welcome back to Get Real with Eddie. Hey, if you need information on getting a mortgage, give a Key Mortgage a call, and you want to talk to the one, the only, Karen Walsh. Karen, what's the best number to reach you at?
708-307-1301.
All right, so still looking at, you know, those top reasons to sell your house and what's going on in the market. So top reasons to own your own home is, first off, privacy. So having a space solely that is yours. Loved ones, prioritizing the needs of those closest to you. Stability, controlling your future direction and security. Financial investment, growing your assets and wealth. Excellent hedge against inflation. Well, we'll have a talk about that as soon as I rip through these. Personal expression, displaying your own unique personality. Accomplishments, reflecting your efforts and success. Comforts, surrounding yourself with enhanced experiences. Your outdoors, stuff like that. Community, being part of a broader social group. And all of these are great reasons to own your own home, step up, and things that when you're selling, you want to focus on, because that's what the buyers are going to be really looking for. The one I always tend to go to because of me and wanting to see my clients succeed and do well is growing your assets and wealth as a financial investment. I also do like the control of your future and direction and the security. And then the aspect of personal expression. You know, a lot of landlords have gotten pretty lenient from what I've seen, but there's still many things you can't do. You know, you got to pay for, if you put a nail hole in the wall, you're paying for it. You can't paint your room purple if you like, even if it's a tasteful purple. But no, I don't. They want all neutral colors. You know, so there's a lot of things you can't do. What are some of the things that stand off on the list for you, Karen?
Probably the accomplishment, personal expression, and the, financial stability. Not to mention that they say that kids do better in homes that are owned by their
in school, yeah.
parents.
There's a lot of studies that show that homeowners have children that do more and succeed better in school. Communities do well with by promoting home ownership. That there's more of a sense of community and responsibility for their lawns, their yards, and everything that's out there.
And I think it also goes back to accomplishment. That's people, that's goals to be accomplished, and owning a home is a big accomplishment for many.
Yeah. Nancy, what stands out on the list for you?
Always financial investment. Stability, I think that really is hand in hand. You achieve stability by having assets and ability to control that, and nothing like a home in order to do that. Personal expression, I'm kind of like artistic, so I like to express myself in my house. No, I don't have purple But I did have a purple ceiling once. Tastefully, but it was purple.
One of Nancy's favorite pieces is her bonfire pit. Describe your bonfire pit.
It is a steel gauge globe that's about 4 feet in diameter, and it is an actual cutout of a globe
Of the world.
of the world.
Yep.
And so when you want to have a fire, you set the world on fire.
Wow.
Yeah.
Where'd you find that piece?
Actually was an artist that did that piece. He lives in Tennessee.
Very cool.
Yeah.
I have
Love
seen that piece in retail stores,
Yeah.
but it's smaller than the one she has. The one she has is I believe you it's 4 feet, but when I picture it in my mind, I always see it a lot bigger because it is just, I think it's enormous when you actually see it.
Well,
in
it's
person.
on a little small stand too,
But
so
even still, it just
big.
seems huge. It really does. I mean, so definitely a pretty cool thing. Just want to leave with this last article that I found on Realtor magazine. Came out first thing this morning. I was able to snag it. And do your clients check for mistakes on their credit? I thought this was an awesome article. According to a new study from Consumer Reports, the publication asked more than 5,800 study participants to get a copy of their credit report and check for errors between February 1st and April 1st. A wide range of mistakes emerged. For example, 29% of respondents uncovered errors with their personal information, while 11% found mistakes regarding their account information, which could damage their credit score. Shocking.
there's a shock.
Unbelievable.
So, what kind of errors are you most likely to find? So, here's the thing. If you are right now the person that's going, well, I want to buy in the next 12 to 36 months. I'm not buying this year. I'm not buying. No, this is when you call Karen, and this is when you get your pre-approval the first time. The reason why is any of these errors we're about to mention may be on your credit, and this is how you get ahead of that game. Don't wait until you're 6 months out, because if there is something, it could take 6 months to get straightened out. You do that at the 12-month to 36-month mark is when you get this done. So, the 4 most common errors. Unrecognized accounts, 41%. 26% unrecognized debit reported to collections. 23% payment wrongly reported as late. 12% payment reported wrongly as misentered. Or missed entirely, I'm sorry. Missed entirely. The 3 most common errors, 1,700, that was out of 695 people. 1,739 people said they found errors related to their personal information. Okay? So, wrong address, misspelled name, or wrong name were the top 3 errors on personal information. All right, Karen, I gotta ask, how often does like the wrong name come up on credit reports?
Probably more than you think, and this is what I want to say about this is if you're applying for credit and somebody doesn't, you're doing it over the phone, you're probably more likely to have a mistake if somebody is taking your information over the phone and inputting it into the system. So let's say that you were applying for a loan and somebody asked you your name, Eddie Rudiger. But when you apply for credit, Eddie, do you use the name Eddie or Edward?
I use Edward, and here's the problem with Eddie. Every single person spells on it. I hate you, Nickelodeon. I really do. You see,
Right.
We got a grandma in the room that had to watch Ed, and Eddie.
Right.
And you do not spell Eddie with a Y.
Oh,
It is EDD I-E.
Right.
2 D's, an I, and an E. There is no Y. An eddy, that is something in water where water starts circling around. That is not a person.
So if Nancy put your name in as Eddie, E-D-D-Y, that stays with you forever. So my suggestion is a lot of institutions are going to where you actually input your own information on a secure portal. That's probably the safest way to apply for credit.
That is an outstanding point, honestly, when it comes to protecting your credit and looking at these issues. So, the Consumer Data Industry Associated, which represents the majority of credit respondent companies, has called the Consumer Reports investigation completely false and misleading. The CDI claims the credit reporting industry has a 98% accuracy rating on credit profiles and cautioned against reading into the study's conclusions because it's based on non-empirical survey of consumers. There was 5,800 consumers used for the survey. I don't understand non-empirical survey. That does not make any sense to me. But wanted to throw that out. We want to be everything up and excited and up in front and truthful. So make sure everybody knows. But just check your credit.
I was gonna say. I mean, everybody knows that they can get a free credit report once a year through all three bureaus, which would be Experian, TransUnion, and Equifax.
Yeah, and pull all three. I know there's services online that pay and where you can get your credit. Here's the problem with some of those services. Many of those services only pull 1 or 2 of the credit scores. They don't pull all 3. Also, they calculate credit differently than an actual FICO score. A FICO score is what you're looking for. That is what is used for a mortgage determination. So you want to look at the FICO score, get all 3, and contact those credit companies directly. So thanks for listening to Get Real with Eddie. Don't forget, tune in next Tuesday and keep it here for ABC News.
Thanks for listening to Get Real with Eddie. Eddie Rudiger is a realtor at Baird & Warner in Plainfield, license number 475141896. Managing broker Steve Engel. For more information on your neighborhood, call Eddie at 815-823-5478 or visit yourdwellings.com.